Hello, my friends. My name is Onyebuchi, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel, a place where I try to make maths make sense. If you have spent some time in a math class, especially a beginner's math class, you must have come across statements like minus 7 plus minus 5 is equal to minus 12. You could have also come across a statement like minus 3 times minus 4 is equal to 12. In symbolic terms, these two statements can be written as the first one can be written as minus 7 plus minus 5 is equal to 12, while the second statement can be written as minus 3 times minus 4 is equal to 12. Now, if you are in the category of people that understand what these statements and similar statements mean, then congratulations to you because your maths journey will be hit free. But if unfortunately you are in the category that don't understand what these statements and similar statements mean, I hate to tell you that you are going to struggle with mathematics. The reason is that these kinds of statements are things that you always encounter in various aspects of mathematics. So for you to successfully study maths and be good at it, then you need to familiarize yourself and also know what these kinds of statements means. Not to worry, the essence of this video is to teach you unambiguously what this kind of statements and similar statement means. So in a couple of minutes from now, we are going to really understand it. We are going to minus 7 plus minus 5 is equal to 12, or minus 3 times minus 4 is equal to 12 will not be something that will be foreign to us. We will understand it and we'll know how we came to the conclusion. Before we continue, there are some things I want us to understand. These are facts that will help us in breaking down or learning what these statements and these kind of statements are. I've written some of them here. The first one is we have what we refer to as the basic mathematical operation. The basic mathematical operations that can be carried out on numbers are things that we are familiar with, or I believe most of us will be familiar with. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These are the basic mathematical operations that we can carry out on number. Having known that, I want us to also understand something. That all the numbers that are in existence, with the exception of 0, can be grouped either into positive numbers or negative number. This is very important. Now that we know that all numbers can be grouped into either positive numbers or negative number, then it is important, or it's a very pertinent question if we should ask, how can we identify negative numbers and positive numbers? There are ways that we identify negative numbers and positive numbers in mathematics. Negative numbers can be written with a minus sign before the figure. This is basically how you can identify a negative number. For instance, if I should tell you to write negative 7, it is the rule or it is customary that you should write a minus sign before the 7. So whenever you see a number and you have a minus sign in front of the number, just know that you are dealing with a negative number. Okay? So on the other hand, the positive number can be identified in two ways. The first one is that you can identify the positive number by writing a plus sign before a figure. you write a plus sign before the figure. Another way you can identify a positive number it is when it is written without any figure or without any sign in front of it. For instance, if I say you should write positive 7, you can write it as plus 7. This is positive 7. You can also write it as just 7. Okay? Plus 7 and 7 are the ways that we can represent positive 7. So all positive numbers are represented in mathematics by either writing a plus sign before the figure or writing the figure without the plus sign. So we now know how to identify negative numbers and positive numbers. We're going to go to the next step or the next thing I want us to understand. Since all numbers, with the exception of 0, can be either negative or positive, it follows that when carrying out the basic mathematical operation of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division on any two numbers, there can be only three possibilities. Okay? All the numbers are in existence with the exception of 0 can either be positive or negative. What this statement simply means is that if you are adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing numbers, two numbers, then it is going to be any of these three possibilities. The first one is that the two numbers could be both negative. That is one of the possibilities that you can have. The second one is that the two numbers can be both positive. The first one is that the two numbers can be both negative. The second one is that the two numbers can be both positive. Then the third possibility is that one of the number is positive and the other one is negative. So we should have this at the back of our mind. It's very important to build this foundation because it is going to help us in understanding those statements that I wrote out at the beginning of the video. So we'll go to the next stage. Next, we are going to familiarize ourselves with the rules that we must apply when carrying out the basic mathematical operation when faced with any of the three possible scenarios that was outlined earlier. What this simply means is that there are rules that guards, for instance, when you want to multiply, divide, subtract, and add two negative numbers. There are rules that apply to it. There are equal rules that apply to when you want to add, subtract, multiply, or divide two positive numbers. There are also rules that apply to when you want to multiply, divide, add, or subtract two numbers that are such that one is positive and the other one is negative. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to familiarize ourselves with these rules. When we familiarize ourselves with these rules, then we must have answered the first question. We must have we'll get to somewhere that will be very interesting in our maths journey. In a nutshell. Now, before listing out the rules, let us take a look at this briefly. What I just did here is that I brought out the three possible scenarios. The first one is the two numbers are negative. The second one is that one of the number is positive and the other one is negative. If you watch, when I brought out the two numbers are negative, I brought out what happens in the case of addition where two numbers are negative. I also wrote out what happens in the case of subtraction of two numbers that are negative. I did the same with multiplication and I did the same with division. So when we have one number that is positive and the other number that is negative, I also carried out the same process for each of the basic mathematical operations. Then finally, the third scenario where the two numbers are positive, I also did the same thing. It was after that I started listing out the rules. Now, before we go to the rules, when I brought out two numbers are negative, I used -6 and -3 to represent all situations where two numbers are negative. Okay, so whatever I have done with -6 and -3 can be applied to any other situation where the two numbers are negative. So for the case of a number is positive and the other one is negative, I used +6 and -3. Okay, now when the two numbers are positive, I used 6 and 3. So we're going to come back to that. We're going to be working with that. But now I want to list out the rules. That is where it matters most. The rules that must be applied when carrying out basic mathematical operation on any of these three scenarios that I've explained earlier. There are 10 rules. Please, you need to learn these rules and study them. Then, when you get used to the rules, there will be no situation like when we say -4 -7 and we supply the answer. It is not going to be confusing to any of us again. So let's just go straight to the rules. The first rule is when a negative number is multiplied by another negative number, the answer is a positive number. You have a negative number is being multiplied by another negative number, the answer is a positive number. So let's go down to what we have listed earlier and see if we can see situation where multiplication of two negative numbers occur. If you watch it here, multiplication as the mathematical operation being carried out on -6 and -3. So you see, when two negative numbers undergo multiplication, the final answer is a positive number. Okay, so 6 times 3 is equal to 18. The fact that the two of them are negative number will ensure we should have it at the back of the mind that the final answer must be a positive number. Remember, 18 is a positive number because whenever you see a number written without any sign in front of it, it indicates that that number is a positive number. So that is all about the first rule. The second rule is when two numbers such that one of the number is positive and the other number is negative undergo multiplication, the final answer is a negative number. You can see the difference between these two rules. The first one is that you have two negative numbers undergoing multiplication. They say our final answer is going to be a positive number. In the second one, they said there are two numbers undergoing multiplication, but one of them is positive and the other one is negative. The final answer will be a negative number. So let's go to our outlined examples to see if we can get something like that. If you check here, without wasting much of our time, we have +6, which is a positive number. We also have -3, which is a negative number. We have them undergoing multiplication. So what this rule states is that we should just multiply the figures, we get 18. So the fact that there is a positive number and a negative number, then the final answer must be a negative number. You can see the minus before the 18 indicating that this is a negative number. So let's go to the third rule. The third rule is simply say that when two positive numbers undergo multiplication, the final answer is a positive number. When two positive numbers undergo multiplication, the final answer is a positive number. So we had two negative number, the final answer will be a positive number. We have two numbers such that one is positive, the other one is negative. The final answer is a negative number. So if multiplication is being carried out on two positive number, the final answer will be a positive number. So let's go to our outline and see if we can get to a situation where we have two positive number being multiplied. Yes, at this point we have 6 and 3, which are two positive numbers undergoing multiplication. You can see the answer is 18. The fact that we have 18 without any sign at the front shows that 18 is a positive number. So let's go down to the fourth rule. In the fourth rule, it says when a negative number is divided by another negative number, the final answer is a positive number. Okay, it's just similar to multiplication too. Two negative numbers that undergo division will give you a positive number. So let's see if we can get to any aspect of our outline that explains that this is division of two negative number, in this case, -3 and -6 and -3. You can see that when you divide 6 by 3, your answer is 2. We have written 2 without a sign at the front, indicating that this is positive 2, thereby confirming the fourth rule, which states that when when a negative number is being divided by another negative number, the answer is positive. This is applicable to every situations that are like that, where you have two negative. Remember, for instance, if you have -10 divided by -5, you have, this is a negative number. This is another negative number undergoing division. So your answer must be 2. Okay? 2 is a positive number because there is no any sign at the front of it. So the fact that there is no sign shows you that 2 is a positive number. So this is applicable to every similar situation. So let's go down and discuss the fifth rule. The fifth rule is when two numbers such that one is negative and the other is positive undergo division, the final answer is going to be a negative number. So let's go straight and check if we can get a situation like that. Yes, look at it here. There is division between +6, which is a positive number, and -6. You can see that our final answer is carrying a minus sign at the front, showing that it is a negative number. So when a positive number is being divided by a negative number, the answer is -2. And mind you, if it is turned around and it is a negative number that is being divided by a positive number, the answer will still be -2. So let's go down to the sixth rule. In the sixth rule, they said when two positive numbers undergo division, the final answer is a positive number. I mean, this is self-explanatory. When you have a situation like 6 divided by 3, two positive number, then we don't need to argue over the answer. The answer will be a positive number, in this case 2. So we're going to go to the seventh rule. This is where I expect you to pay close attention because this is the most confusing aspect of the rule. These ones initially are very easy to explain but understand, but then this will have to watch it carefully. The seventh rule says that when two like signs, two signs that are alike, I have in brackets plus plus. You can see these two signs are alike, or you have minus minus are written together. The rule is the two signs should be replaced with a plus sign. This is very important. So if you have a situation where you have two signs written together, okay, you are solving a math problem and you get to the point where you have two signs that are written together and the two signs happens to be like signs. They could either be plus plus or minus minus written together. The rule simply says that in place of the two signs, just introduce a plus sign. The second part of the rule says that when two unlike signs, for instance, plus and minus, you can see there are two signs, but they are not the same. They are not alike. The first one is plus, the second one is minus, or minus and plus, they are also not alike, are written together. The rule is the two signs should be replaced with a minus sign. This is very important. Let me bring my rough sheet to explain this better. For instance, now you have -7 minus 6. Okay? What this rule states is that if you look at this place now, you have two like signs. At this point, you have two like signs. Okay? Two like signs, in this case, minus and minus, written together. The rule says that in place of these two like signs, introduce a plus sign. So this is going to become minus 7 plus 6. Okay? The two like signs have become a plus sign. So that is what the rules simply say. But let's say you have minus 7 minus plus 6. Okay? You have two signs together, but there are two unlike signs. Two unlike signs. The rule says that you should replace it with a minus sign once there are two unlike signs. So this will become minus 7. These two unlike signs here, they say we should replace with minus. So this is going to be minus 6. This is very, very important. That is what it basically means. So let's go to the eighth sign. When you have a situation where, like let's go down to our outline and see if we can say anything about it in the light of those rules. Look at a situation where there is addition of two numbers that are both negative. Minus 6 plus minus 3. So we have two unlike signs here. Okay? Plus minus, two unlike signs here. So in this case now, if you check where we have subtraction, we have minus 6 minus 3. We have two like sign. So following the rules now, it means that this first one, which is this, can now be written as minus 6. These two signs, now the rule says that since they are unlike signs, we should replace it with a minus sign. Then this will be equal, then we'll repeat the 3. Okay? If we consider this second one now, the rule states that we should write minus 6, which is this minus 6 here. Then we'll have minus minus, two like signs written next to each other becomes a plus sign. So we'll write a plus sign here and we introduce 3. This is very, very important. Okay? This is very, very important. Now, let's still continue with our rules. Let's continue with our rules. We have just finished with rule number 7. So we're going to go to rule number 8. They say if you have a situation where a minus sign precedes a number followed by another minus sign, then another number in, let's say, minus 4, minus 7. The rule is add the numbers and retain a minus sign in front of your answer. Please, what it simply means is that if we have a situation like that here, okay? If you have minus 6 minus 3, anytime you are solving a math problem where you come across something like this, the rule number 8 is talking about how you are going to resolve this kind of situation. What the rule says is that when you have a minus sign followed by a number, then another minus sign followed by another number. When you have situation like that, the rule says that for you to get the final answer, ignore the two minus at first, just add the figures. In this case, it will be 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. But you don't stop there. Because of this unique situation, you introduce a minus sign in front of your answer. Okay? This is just what I wanted. There are proofs to these rules, but for now, I just want us to memorize them and just memorize the rules and commit them to our heart. As time goes on, we're going to take time to explain these rules and prove them. Okay? So, coming down to this one, where we have minus 4 minus 7. So if you have minus 4 minus 7, let's say minus 4 minus 7. Following the rule, it means we should add 4 and 7. It becomes 11. Then the rule says that we should retain a minus sign in our final answer. For instance, you have minus 20, 10 minus 50. It still follows the same pattern. What you do is that you add the figures. In this case, you get 60, but you retain a minus sign at the front. So this is what you can extrapolate to every other situation. Just know that when you have similar situation, this kind of situation, the rule says told us what to do. Just add the figures and put a minus sign in your final answer. So we'll finish with rule number 8. We are going to go to rule number 9. So when a minus sign precedes a number followed by a plus sign, then a number, as in minus 3 plus 8. The rule is simply rewrite the expression by bringing the plus sign and the number that follows it to the front. Then write the minus sign and the number that follows it. In this case, let me just explain what it means. Let me explain what this means. What it simply means is that when you have a situation where you have, let's say, minus 7 and plus 9, how do I go about this? How do we resolve this? The rule says that you should bring this to the front. You should just write this statement. You should write it by writing this first. So it becomes plus 9. Then you write this behind minus 7. Okay? This can also be written as 9 minus 7. Why? Because plus 9 and 9 are the same. Positive numbers can be written with the sign or without the sign. So I choose to write without the sign. So you have 9 minus 7 now, which is a straightforward statement. The answer is 2. Okay? So that is just all about it. Let's give another example. Let's say you have minus 5 plus 15. The same pattern. Bring the minus 15, the one with the plus, bring it to the front. The one with the minus should be written next. Drop the plus sign, minus 5. So 15 minus 5 is equal to 10. Okay? That is just what the rule states. So we have a situation where we have something similar to this, minus coming first, followed by a number, then minus followed by a number. We're told to add the figures, retain the minus sign. In this case, where you have minus followed by a number, plus a number, they just say interchange it. Take the one with the plus to the front, take the one with the minus to the back, and you have something that is straightforward. Now, the 10th and the final rule is when a smaller number is being subtracted from a larger number, the answer is a positive number. But when a larger number is being subtracted from a smaller number, the answer is a negative number. It's self-explanatory and straightforward. For instance, if you have, let's say, you have 10 minus 5. 5 is being subtracted from 10. 10 is greater than 5. Your answer will be a positive number. 10 minus 5 from elementary class, we know the answer is 5. Positive number. But if in the other way we say 5 minus 10, 5 is smaller than 10, but 10 is being subtracted from 5. So we will still carry out the process like this, but the final answer will be a minus, a negative number. So with all this now, these rules now, we can comfortably handle any situation where we are trying to carry out the basic maths operation, irrespective of whether the numbers that we are trying to carry out these operations are both negative or are both positive or are such that one is positive and the other one is negative. These are the rules that you need. You have to understand them. If you understand them, then this is the foundation of your mathematics. If you don't understand them, then it is unfortunate you are going to struggle with mathematics, because these are, from my years of teaching mathematics, the reason why most of us get frustrated in trying to learn the subject. So I've brought out these 10 rules. You can watch the video and rewatch it again. If there is any confusion, please don't hesitate to write it in the comment section as question. I'm going to take my time to read it and also supply you with the right answer to the best of my ability. Another thing again is that if you are coming across our channel for the first time, we dedicate our attention to building the basic skills that you need to understand mathematics. We build maths from the foundation. We try to make maths make sense. Please, we urge you to share our videos if you derive any value from it. Inform your friends about the channel and share the videos. Also encouraging us by liking the video, comment on the video, and also please help us subscribe to the channel. These are the things I need from you. And in my own part, I will do everything that I can to make maths make sense and try to convert all of us to mathematicians. We are all mathematicians by nature, but then these technicalities are the things that are hindering us from attaining our maximum maths potentials. So please help us share the videos and push it out. You're welcome and thank you. I still remain your passionate mathematics teacher, Ebuchi. See you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.